Boston Red Sox, as polarizing as ever. You take three big-time series that you needed, being the Seattle Mariners fighting with you in the for the wild card spot, the Texas Rangers, who are clawing in to make the playoffs, trying to defend their championship, and then the Kansas City Royals. That was the pretty much playoff series. You take 2 of 3 against that. Huge series. You're looking up, half a game out of the wild card. It's time to really prove it here against what feels like you used to be in the Houston Astros, just a team with pure talent, superstars left and right between Alvarez, Bregman, Altuve, Framber Valdez. They just have it all over there, and they're coming to town. You need wins. You need to win some games here. You get swept. Holy smokes. Got absolutely pantsed by the Houston Astros. They just showed that they were on a different level to you. The last game was like 10-2. The Red Sox absolutely laid down on their home field and got destroyed on a Sunday afternoon. Not only that, the All-Star MVP, the engine of the offense, the locomotive himself, Jarren Duran, lets a gay slur fly and he gets suspended for 2 games. Those will be the 2 games that he misses in the entire season. He's played every single game and he will serve a suspension. He missed the first 2 games against the Texas Rangers series that we have started. It sucks. There's a whole cancel, non-cancel, crazy thing going on around Duran. I'm not gonna talk about it. I think it's all about precedence, and they want to grow the sport. That's why these things happen. I don't want to really talk about it though. When it comes to Duran, I want to talk about the baseball. And I think he's going to learn from the experience. He better. And then that way he can help his team. He can help this team. We need him. He's an important player for what we want to accomplish this year and in the future. Some more important players. I got to talk. David Hamilton is becoming an everyday player for this team. He's playing shortstop now. He's filled the role at short. It was shaky in the beginning. He is becoming a real player. Representative defense at shortstop. He's hitting 200 in the last 15, not great. 226 in the last 30. I don't know. I feel like somehow he puts the ball in play just as well as anyone on this team. 253 on the year. So he's kind of on a downswing at the moment, but his average is representative. If you get 253 out of David Hamilton, I will take it. I think my ceiling for him was really like 230, 220. So Hamilton is playing representative defense. I feel like he comes out of nowhere with these hits that the team really needs. And then once he's on the base paths, he's a lot like Duran and Rafaela. He can stretch, extend plays, and he can be a threat on the base paths. Another player we got to talk about, Wilyer Barreu. He's in the Rookie of the Year conversation. He's having an amazing year, hitting 269 with OPS of 833. That's really what gets him in the conversation. 76 hits. 12 home runs on the year at 283 at-bats. Abreu is becoming a really good player for them. He's a part of that lefty logjam in the outfield, though. But right now, he has his spot in the outfield. Right now, though, currently he's on a downswing. He's hitting 176 over his last 7, which isn't great. But yeah, the kid has a cannon. reminds me a lot of Verdugo. But, he's just, like, not freaking crazy. I gotta talk a little pitching here. So, Bayo had a really good game 1 of the Rangers series. So, he went a solid 6 innings. And I think he gave up 1 run. There was a spot where it looked like he could have imploded, but for the first time, he really bounced back and matured. Bayo has the talent and the stuff to be the ace of the team, but does he have the mental makeup is the real question. All year, he has imploded. Every single start, he goes out. Once one thing goes wrong, he goes off the rails. And he just hasn't been able to harness his command, his location, his delivery, all of it starts to go off the rails once he has to, like, hustle to first base to make a play, or a pitch hangs and he just lets it loose. He can just blow up at any moment, but this was a good sign. He pitched a good game against the defending champions in game 1. So, and they really needed it from him too, because they had an opener on Sunday. Paxton went down with an injury, so they really need to figure out their rotation again. It was a scratch ticket anyway. Paxton goes down. Just like Giolito, we just refuse to pay really good pitchers, so we kind of dumpster dive. And the guys get hurt. I don't know what to tell you. It's really frustrating. But they're probably going to bring Criswell back up and roll with him in that last spot. But yeah, Bayo gives the pen a break in a big way. Has a good start on Monday. It was really good. Last night, Cutter Crawford comes in. He goes 5 1/3. Was pitching a no-hitter until the 5th inning. Cutter was looking amazing. Then it's like 3rd time through, he's letting it hang, gives up 3 hits, and then Cora pulls him for Boozer with 1 out, and Cam Boozer did not have it. It was really all for this one matchup, and Boozer just totally fell off. He looked really bad. Sims bails them out, and then the Red Sox end up exploding on the scenes later on in the game. Connor Wong gets a big home run, and then Nick Sogard 2 RBIs off this 1 base hit that looked really good. Rafaela 2 hits on the night, and then of course Rob Refsnyder and Rafael Devers had a really good game. Those 2 are the 2 lefties right now that are really trying to carry the team, because our first baseman has still not recovered. Like with Cassis, AC says he's ready. Cassis says it's the timing. So Cassis is trying to perfect his timing, reading the pitch, making contact, of course, barreling it, all that. On 34 at-bats in Worcester, he's got 10 hits, 6 doubles, 1 home run, 6 RBIs, 5 walks, struck out 11 times. He's hitting .294 with an OPS of 959. He's dominating. He had a home run last night in Worcester. He's got to be ready to go, like, next week. He's got to be here next week. The stats say he's ready to go. The coach says he's ready to go, but the player doesn't feel like he's ready yet. And I think he's just trying to perfect. What's his quote? It's like, I need to perfect my craft. Or he's like, needs to perfect his craft. The kid's a freaking loose nut. But he's a really good player. And he's good for baseball. He's good for the Red Sox. That can't be understated. People don't realize that he's good for the team. He is a powerhouse. And what he doesn't realize is what he brings being available for the team opens up so many doors for these other players. Guys like Mickey Gasper, MLB debut, big spot, bottom of the 10th on Monday night, draws a walk. But what needs to be realized is if it's Dom Smith in the on-deck circle, or Mickey Gasper, or Romy Gonzalez, 3 guys, journeyman guys, pitchers can risk walking, they can go out of the zone, they can really try to get swings and misses. They don't have to worry about getting the out right then and there, because on deck, who's up? Dom Smith or Romy Gonzalez, one of these journeymen, Jamie Westbrook. You don't need to worry about getting the out against the worst player, because on deck is another pretty poor player. You can get the out there instead. If it's Cassis, that means I need to get the out right now, because if I don't, I got to deal with this guy coming up, and he's a threat. He's a threat, and he's good protection for a guy like Jamie Westbrook or Nick Sogard. He's big protection for those guys, because that means the pitchers have to pitch to them, which means they can get some good hits. And Sogard is becoming a really good second baseman for the team. And I talked about David Hamilton already, but Cassis can do more than he realizes. Right now he's very concerned that he will not be able to contribute if he's not 100%. But he can contribute more than just having perfect at-bats right now. His name being in the lineup does way more damage to the other team than he realizes. So that's why we need him here as soon as possible. Damn, they played without Cassis and Duran over the first 2 games against the defending champs and took both games. Huge performances from these guys, so I can't stress it enough, but Cassis needs to come back as soon as possible. I'm telling you, next week he's got to be here. We got to get this going. Lastly, it's just time to talk a little big picture. All right, we're 1 game out of the wild card. Kansas City just got mowed down by the Minnesota Twins 12-3. They're looking to get swept by the Twins, and that would be huge for us. That'd be massive, because we sweep Texas and Minnesota sweeps Kansas City. We are in, because we own the tiebreaker on Kansas City. We're 1 game out of the wild card. It's coming down to it. It's going to be a wire down the stretch here, but we have tiebreakers over Seattle and over Kansas City. We have a decent shot if we can just stay in. If we can just stay in the race, then we can scratch in barely. It's going to be tough though. We have this 1 more game against Texas today. We need to sweep. We need as many games against Texas as we can get, because up next we have Baltimore. Baltimore tomorrow in Camden. That is dangerous. That's a 4-game series in Camden Yards. That could be deadly. If we get 4 games swept by Baltimore Orioles, we might be out of it, because after that we have Houston again. Houston absolutely waxed us before. So, these are big time series that we have. After this game today, you have a 4-game series in Camden Yards. You have a 3-game series in Minute Maid Park against the Astros, and then the Arizona Diamondbacks, the NL defending champions, come to town for another 3-game series. That is 3 big-time baseball series that the Red Sox not only need to compete, but they need to play well. And I think you need Tristan Casas for these series. Then you have the series against Toronto, who a 4-game series at home. I remember that going poorly last year. Need that to go well. Definitely need that to go well. One of the games is actually a makeup game that I'll be at because I was at the rain out. But that's where we're at. That's where we're at. We're going to see how it plays out. Just take it one game at a time. Go out and win every game you can. All right, we'll see where we end up. Take care.